Scotland receives £1,671 or 17% more per person than the UK average, and at the same time its tax revenues are £308 lower per person. So that means a fiscal transfer that would stop with independence. And I ask again, is that a price worth paying?
Look, if you're pointing to the position that Scotland has right now, the fiscal position of Scotland right now, that is a feature of Westminster government decisions around macroeconomic policy and fiscal decisions. It's not a reflection of independence. So are you, if anybody is saying...
It's a net move of money, isn't it?
Well, but why should a country like Scotland, with all of the attributes and assets and skills and natural and people resources that Scotland has, be in a position of requiring to use the pejorative language, subsidised? So if that's the position Scotland is in right now, that would suggest that there is something about how we are governed that is not working properly. It's not an argument for staying the same, it's an argument for change. Because when we look around Europe and the world right now, what we see is the world is littered with independent countries of a similar size to Scotland, some smaller than Scotland, that are amongst the most prosperous.
And at least in this limited regard, you accept that Scotland will be a bit poorer. At least in that limited regard for that transfer, which is a factual transfer.
I don't accept that Scotland, as an independent country, will be poorer. I do accept that we will have to manage our finances like any other independent country, but the ability to manage that in a way that sits with our values, that
okay, but in this limited regard, as it were, you accept the numbers.
We would, well, if you're quoting GERS, these are government figures. I'm not denying the validity of them. They're based on a range of assumptions that around the margins you could argue around, but we could take our own spending decisions. You know, in there is the money that is spent on, you know, things like the House of Lords, Trident, all things that I don't think an independent Scotland would choose to spend money on. So these are, Scotland is a wealthy, prosperous, skilled, talented country. Why on earth could we not be a prosperous independent country?